Quick one, Mina here. Thank you for watching this episode. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. One thing that you can do for me is to please hit the subscribe button below. A lot of people who come and watch this podcast or listen to the podcast are not subscribers. And so we're trying to increase our subscriber base. We are wanting to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I promise you that if you hit subscribe, I'm going to work hard to make sure that my episodes are really good, that will get better and better. So, do we have a deal? Okay, back to the episode. Kia ora, Indy. Welcome to the podcast.
It's great to be here.
Why do we network?
We network to connect with people, to broaden our horizons, to go beyond just ourselves, and to meet with others.
Why do you network?
I network because, well, firstly, I'm a people person, but I know that I can't do life alone. We're better together, 100%. And so I get into network environments so that I can meet others, broaden my scopes, and not just be in my own little bubble.
What made you get into networking, per se?
Well, there was an opportunity brought by my workplace. We do it naturally within there, and then we brought an intentionality to it. So there was a team of 4 of us that came together. And from that group of 4 people, we went forward and did it and kind of just explored the way. And it's been incredible.
Let's dive deeper a little bit into how that's really started and how the vision began. So tell us a little bit about, because there's a bit of an introduction at the start of this podcast, but, for people who don't know, you're part of the Crate, but people don't know what that is. And then the networking group. Tell us a little about what these are.
Yeah, great. Well, so I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Crate Flexible Office Space on Constellation Drive on the North Shore. We, for many, many years, have run a group called Doing Business with the Neighbours, right? So business with locals it evolved into. It was a once a month networking gathering event that we ran. It was just a one-off event. It was based around a speaker. People would choose to turn up and come be a part of that. We had a small core of people that would be regulars and then just a very sporadic. We'd grown it to the point where actually the numbers were starting to really flourish. We're really starting to grow. We were getting good attendance, 30 plus people on each of the nights. I think our biggest night, we had 55 people turn up, and the event was pumping, but there was a real lack there. It was not meeting the need to build community, to build connection, to build business. And so in the height of its growth and its members, we decided that it wasn't ticking the boxes and we shut it down. And then there was a core team of 4 of us that came together and said, what can we do better? What can we do? What can this actually do to achieve the goals that we're looking to? And then from that, a core team leadership of 4 people, myself, Dean Payne, Rory White, and Elias Canaris, came together and reimagined networking, and the gathering was born out of that. Well,
that's really exciting because it sounds like you found a need. You found a problem to solve, and if the problem wasn't so big, you wouldn't have been into this from the first place. Like clearly, there's a need for that. Why do we bother networking? What is the biggest problem that we're trying to solve here?
Well, the biggest problem we're trying to solve is that people are wanting to have growth. We've got big dreams. New Zealand is incredibly entrepreneurial and wants to do it, but by ourselves, we are limited. We put a ceiling on our own abilities if we rely solely on ourselves. So the purpose of networking is to bring increase. The whole tide rises together and we come together. So it's the idea that when multiple people are in the room, we can all lift and grow ourselves as a community, as a group.
What's the real problem here? What are we trying to solve?
Well, we want growth. When we do talk about the gathering and we're talking about business networking, we're wanting to grow our businesses primarily, right?
Make more money.
We want to make more money. We want to build into our lives more time freedom. People go into business for a reason, not to just create another job for themselves, right? That's a problem, that people are just bound and are selling their time for money. We want to create freedom. We want to create this. And so we don't want to be stuck in a place. So in order to do that, we need to leverage our time better, and we need to create more money. Honestly, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
People want more money. Why do we want more money? To do the things that are important to us, whether it's spending time with family, whether it's to be able to go and travel, whether it's to go and tick off bucket list items, whatever it might be for you, that's all run by this currency called money. And so we want to see increase of that.
Nice. So if let's say that people go, there's some listeners at the moment or viewers who are in networking groups or in networking guilds, whatever you call it. And then some others who have got no clue what is networking and why do we even bother? I know that 97% of small businesses in New Zealand are made up of 20 people or less.
That's correct. So there's 750,000 registered businesses in New Zealand right now. And of those, 97 out of 100 of those are 20 employees or less. So that means that there's small teams, small communities. And in this age right now where we live, where there's a lot of hybrid workforce, we find ourselves being separated or isolated more than ever before, doing business alone, doing things alone. So networking is so important to know that you aren't in it alone, that the problems you face have been faced before, that there is a way forward. Sometimes we don't see those answers, those solutions there. We don't have within our current networks all the customers that are generating the revenue that we want to be able to fulfill the dreams and desires that we have for our businesses. So networking is an environment and a space for you to grow your business, both in the opportunity for people's customers and networks, but also in the way that you do business.
So are you talking about like networking, helping people who are feeling like lonely at home, stuck working in their home office, trying to, if they are a business owner, then they're trying to make their business work. And if they're on your own, if I think about it, if I'm on my own and I don't have any support around me, there's only a limited number of ideas that I can come up with and I'll eventually have a ceiling.
That's right.
Right? Like, is that what is that like what is being tapped into? Like the problem that we're trying to solve is just expanding your horizon. And when you're in a number of people, because I suppose in networking, it's a number of people, right?
That's correct. So obviously the power of networking is in meeting others. So say, for example, you go and join a networking group and that networking group might be, say, 20, 25 people. The power of the networking itself is not just found in those 20 or 25 people in the room. You're not just looking to do business with those 20 or 25 people in the room. You're looking to build trust and building a network of people that will be advocates for you, that they go away and they come across 100, 150 people in their circles, that when they find someone in their circle of 100, 150 people, that they can hand on heart go, I can know a person that will solve your problem, solve your issue. So the 20 or 25 people in that room all of a sudden become 3,000, 4,000 people that are connected. That's the power of networking.
How do you do that?
So you spend time. The first and foremost is you've got to find a networking group in your area that's local to you that you can make a commitment to. I've discovered a few things being in the networking game for a while that in order to make it work, much like going to the gym, you've got to find a gym that can fit into your routine or there. So there's no point in having something that's far away or that doesn't work on your schedule. You need to find a networking group that fits on your schedule. So networking groups, they've been around for a long, long time, centuries in different forms and fashions. And even within your city or even your town, there'll be a whole bunch of different networking groups. So you can have networking groups that do breakfast, lunch, afternoons. You've got people that meet on the weekends. You've got people that gather around specific industries or trades and gather. So you find something that's going to work for you, work in your schedule, work in your lifestyle, work with what you do. You find that group and you turn up regularly. So how often they meet, and they can meet on all sorts of different schedules. Our one meets weekly because we find that there's value in that recurring connection of being in front of people.
What's the point of every week? I must ask here. You can do once a month or, and especially every week. It sounds like it's a lot for people to go, do I really have to commit like every single week to go and show up and talk to people?
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Well, it depends what's important to you, right? You'll make time for that which is important to you. If growing your business is important to you, then you'll make the time to do the activities and the things that grow your business. Networking, hands down, is one of those things that grows your business. And by turning up weekly, a lot of people want the quality of relationship and connections that happen through networking, but quality only happens through quantity. It's those quality moments that happen by regularly coming and connecting there. By being in front of someone on a regular basis, you then have the opportunity to stay top of mind. You're not forgotten about. Turning up once a fortnight or once a month or, every 6 weeks just means that you don't have that connection that you're able to build on. You think about, and even in a workplace, right? The closer you work with someone on a day in, day out basis, the stronger your relationship is with that person, your colleagues. Well, the true is same with networking.
So do we know how long does it take before somebody forgets about you?
I don't know about being forgettable there. It varies. Some people are more memorable than others, but statistically you're showing that after 10 days, you remember like only 10% of what's been going on there, whether it's in a seminar or space there. So if we are not constantly getting in front of people week after week, then you will fade away.
For people listening who do not have a business, maybe like professionals, why would you bother to, why would anyone bother to show up somewhere if they are a professional? How is it really going to help their career progression, do you think?
Sure. Well, it really comes down to the fact that a person needs to have a personal vision for their life.
Yeah.
And regardless of where you are in the stages of business, whether you are an entrepreneur just starting out, whether you've been in business for 20, 30 years, or whether you're still an employee with dreams and aspirations of one day doing your own thing, you need to have a vision for what you're doing. And if you have that vision, then networking becomes a part of being able to expand your personal networks, your abilities to dream and think bigger.
How has networking helped you grow as a person?
Well, as a person, you see blind spots.
What blind spot have you noticed in you?
Well, in my life, you just don't notice some of the traits or things that you do there, and you get sharpened there, and people will come in and go, hey, I noticed you're doing things this way. Have you thought about doing it another way? I want to talk back just before you're talking with employees or why people might want to do it if you're not a professional. It's because when you have that vision for your life to go out there, you then can get connected with people that have done it, been there before you, can give you advice on the way through. And our group in the gathering, I'm thinking of a person right now. He has joined as a full-time employee, but he had a vision for his life that was bigger than just being an employee. He didn't just want to turn up to work. He wanted to start his own business. Since coming in, he started his own business. He's branded his own business. He's expanded his own business. And going into 2025, he's now launching out into that. There's been a progression that's happened over 2024 for him where he's gone and done both work and done his employee thing, but he's launched his business. And it's happened because he's been able to connect. And part of that has been able to be the ability to brainstorm ideas about how he goes forward. He's been able to, through the networking group, get people that can help him with his branding, help him with his name. He changed his name that he was going to do because of a result of being in the networking, because you pull on the resources, the experiences of other people that are around you. And I know for my own life, I've like even just been a part of this, putting in place systems. Like I've learned the value of systems. It's a blessing and a curse, but this brain of mine can remember a lot of information. So it doesn't mean that I always have to necessarily write down what I do or remember. I can just remember it, and it can be easier to do it. But I've learned the value, for example, of systems. That's come through being in a networking group, being in environments going, why are you repeating yourself there? Why don't you put it all together? So there's ways that you can do life, do business, and then people can come and help you on that journey.
I love that. Sounds like you're passionate about it. Why are you passionate about it?
I love people. I love helping people. I love doing life with people. I truly believe we're better together. Everybody needs some level of people interaction. Some people need it more than others. I'll probably be on the end of scale. Yeah. I remember coming out of the COVID lockdowns, I couldn't wait to get back to the offices. I was like, let me out there, be around with the people. I know other people like, I love being at home. But regardless of where you are on that scale, we do need human interaction. We do need connection. And for me, networking is a natural environment to be able to connect with people, help them. I love hearing people's stories, hearing where people are at, hearing their journeys, and honestly, helping people problem solve. One of the greatest joys that I have is that when someone would trust me with a problem that they have and ask for some advice. Now, they don't need to take my advice. I don't care about that. But the fact that they reach out and I can be a part of their journey of helping them go through times that might be difficult, might be hard, might be, how do I leverage this even more, and be a part of that. And then I know, conversely, I have a group of people that I can reach out to and go, hey, can you help me with this? And it just builds incredible trust and incredible relationships.
And I'm also like thinking, how do people make money out of this? You were talking about people helping you be connected to others. So it's the power of someone referring you to others.
Yes.
So people who are listening and watching, they may know this concept. You know, some don't understand it. I actually want to ask about how much money can someone earn from simply networking in a group?
Well, if I was to go around a room and ask the question, who wants more quality leads? Basically, everyone's going to put their hand up. And if their hand doesn't go up, then they need help with their system so that they can receive more leads. Everybody wants more potential customers to come into their business that are the right customers. So by being in a networking group, you leverage the ability to reach more potential customers by the word of mouth, which is the most powerful affirming marketing you can have. When someone hand on heart recommends a service to you, we've all done it. Like Mina, you would have had someone and go, I recommend you go to this massage place. They just do the best massages there.
It kind of works, doesn't it?
Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
My wife is a hairdresser and she's had clients refer, go, you need to go see Bianca because she does the best of this. And she's got clients that travel from Whangarei to Hamilton to come and see her because she is specialized in that. So you want people that are advocates for you. And when you have advocates for you, it means that those leads are, if they're your target client, are ready to convert, and you have a whole pool. As I said before, in a group of 25 people, you open yourself up to 3,000, 4,000 additional people that you can have as your potential clients.
So let's take an example of a hairdresser who makes, I don't know, well, maybe not a hairdresser. Like, let's pick another example. Let's say a graphic designer.
Yes.
Who the average dollar value of every client is, let's say, $2,000.
Yeah, sure.
What are we looking at here?
So this person comes in and they come and they've done some work for me. That's actually a true scenario in the gathering itself.
Okay.
So I've got a person in our group, amazing guy, Roland from Love Your Brand. He's done branding for us. Then when someone comes to me going, man, I just need a graphic designer, I can say, do you like what we offer here at the Crate or in the gathering? You see this? We've got a great graphic designer who can do it there. They can see the proof of concept, they can see it evolved and gone through, and then they have a referral from me that I can then link them into that person.
So if I'm thinking about it, if someone is part of a group, if I'm part of a group and I'll show up every week, and maybe I develop friendships and relationships and stuff like that, and people start to get to know what I do, on average, what are we talking about here? Like, do people get like one referral once a week? Imagine if people get one referral once a week, then they can, that's 52 referrals a year. If every referral was $2,000 that did land, then my math is really good.
Yeah.
So over $100,000.
That's correct. So I would say there's a couple of principles that apply with networking, okay? So the first principle being this is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So alongside of that, you must be a person that gives value. So if you go into a networking group or an environment solely to get referrals, then you might get a few referrals, but people will get the feeling that you don't actually care about them.
How do you care about someone?
So you give value.
How do you give value?
You share your expertise. You be free with that. The reality is that every single person that's listening to this podcast is savvy enough to go onto YouTube and Google, how do I get more leads? Every single one of us, but we don't do it. Why don't we do it? Because we don't have the time, we don't have the trust in the process. But if we have someone that is an expert in their field, like, for yourself, Mina, coming on here, expert in podcasting. We're talking about this before, so a little behind the scenes for any of our listeners here.
Yeah.
But you're giving me the pro tips on what it is to come in to get the best out of a podcast, right? Because you're an expert in your field. Now, I can guarantee I could go onto YouTube and I could Google how to do a great podcast. And there would be people telling me that. but because I have relationship, because you've given value, because you've spent the time with me, and it's not just about getting a sale, it's not just about there, but you have this genuine relationship that is formed there. I know that you care. And so because of that, when people know, I'm trust you, right? And so that builds trust. So when you give something there, then you start to receive trust, you know.
It's quite powerful, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people, I think there's been a way of networking back in the day, and it has shifted. The way people network today is shifted, and it is shifted towards the giving more and the building of relationship. In fact, the whole building of relationship, I think, has been heightened, even for leaders. When people lead back in the day, they used to lead from the top down.
Yes.
Right? And like, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you just do it. But then now it's become, I'm going to form a relationship with my employees and a connection, and then going to inspire you to take action rather than just tell you to take action.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like similar with networking, kind of like I'm like, instead of going, I need business, do you know anybody in there? Going, I'm going to just form a relationship here and just going to find out what you need and what your business is, what if you're looking for introductions, how can I help you? Simple things I feel like people can do these days is just a like or a comment on a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post. Like, that's actually adding value.
Absolutely.
Right?
And again, these social networks, there's the word, they're a network, right?
Yeah.
And in that, who are the people that you follow on social networks? Those people that give, those people that are not just, hey, buy my thing.
Yeah.
Like, you scroll straight past that. You swipe past, you ignore the ones that are just there. But those that are giving value and adding into you, that they become the thought leaders, the people that you trust, the people that you turn to, so that when you need that or when you need to recommend to someone, you recommend there. So the power of networking is not just found just within the environment of for us, a Thursday evening where we come and connect, or whether it be a Tuesday morning or whenever you meet. The power is also that happens outside of that. So we encourage every single one of our members to do one-on-one coffees. So we have a business lounge that we go, come in, have a great barista-made coffee. Life's too short for bad coffee, 100%. So come have a great coffee, come into this space and meet with someone. And then we encourage them to ask this question, how can I help you? When you ask that question, it's incredibly powerful, because the onus isn't on you going like, how can you help me? What leads can you give me? Hey, how can I help you? And then people can come and ask a genuine, well, actually, it'd be great. Do you know anyone in this industry? Or can you help me with this event? Or would you be happy to promote this thing? Whatever it is, come along. And then you give and you do that. Then all of a sudden, they're going to go to the question, well, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And when people help one another, that's how we flourish. Everyone rises.
That's right. So you clearly have to give before you receive, but there must be psychological factors or a psychology of networking. I mean, if people understand that, they probably will be able to do better. Can you tap into that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a number of principles that relate to networking, okay? So 8 of them there. So the first one would be the need for belonging and connection, right? Inside of us, we all have this innate need to connect. Maslow's law hierarchy of needs, connection is huge. And we've seen that throughout human history. So through your networking, you build your support systems, you have a regular group to connect in with. There's this whole idea where you can collaborate with a whole bunch of people, and it's fantastic. Within networking, there's a principle of reciprocity. So where you receive, there you give and you receive there. And as we said there, you got to give before you take.
Is it the reciprocity rule, the second rule? It means that you have got to give first before you want to receive. So
absolutely,
you don't really ask people, like we talked about earlier, you don't ask people, what I want to get something, but how can I help you first?
Yeah. So how can you help? Or the other thing that you can do with that is you can ask them to help you with a problem, but it's not just to get, because then they are giving value into you. So you want to give them value 100% and allow that. And that strengthens your relationships.
Right.
That means that you have stronger bonds, stronger connections, and it brings an authenticity to what you're doing. Another thing that really is great with networking groups is it really just brings a social proof and credibility to you. When you're in the room with a bunch of professionals or other people that are doing well, you can elevate your own status because you're in the room with those people, right? So people can know and trust you because other people that they can see know and trust you.
Is it like the same as when you're in a room with, let's say, the Prime Minister or like Oprah Winfrey, and you take a photo with Oprah Winfrey and you post it on LinkedIn and you go, yeah, I've just hung out with Oprah. People all of a sudden go, oh, wow, like there's an association. Is that what it is? That
Absolutely.
People go, well, if he's hanging out with Oprah or with the Prime Minister, there must be it's not like, we're not trying to deceive people, but it's an association thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. So people would look at someone and they would think that person wants to spend time with that person enough to take a photo, be in the room there. Therefore, I value that person and I want that same thing.
Yeah. It's like being part of a group. And if that group has an element of expertise or eliteness, then you're also looked at as an elite part of that group.
Yeah, like you belong there. You have that same level of expertise. You operate on that plane.
And people look at you differently though, don't they? Like after that.
Yeah, and conversely, the opposite can happen, right? Like if you're with people that people would think, oh, they don't know what they're doing. That person mustn't know because they're spending time with them. So when you're with people that are experts in their field or elevated or, for whatever reason are esteemed, then you glean off of them and you kind of borrow from their esteem, their knowledge, right? Because you're in the room. And the reality is if you are a person with that's networking and has vision for what you're doing, then you will glean from them and you will grow. And so it is true, right? So it's not just the appearance of that, but it shows that that's where you are heading and where you're going.
Yeah.
Within networking, 100% there is the principle of the power of storytelling. We're here to tell our story. We're to show people and take people on a journey, our origin story, where we've come from and where we're going. So you can learn how to refine that, be in that. Networking is all about storytelling, okay? So you build that emotional connection with people because it's not just about selling a product. Like if you just list the benefits of your product or service, who cares? How do people feel about that? And you've got to learn the process of telling the story of what it is to be in there.
That's so true with the power of storytelling, because if you're going to throw facts at people, there's less chances of that sticking. I know there's an interesting statistics that people are 22 times more likely to connect with you if you've told them a story, not a fact. 22 times more.
That's incredible. And it's true because people remember the stories and the stories evoke emotions. And as humans, we are emotional people. We connect with that, whether it be fear or joy or anxiety. And we can relate to moments in our life. And by telling a story, you make yourself relatable. You make yourself real. If you're just selling facts, if you're just selling just what's happened.
The what, yeah. People don't know the why and how.
People don't care about the what.
Yeah. They want to know the why first, I suppose.
Google the what.
Yeah.
Google doesn't tell you the emotion behind the story, right?
That's right.
We want the emotion there. We want that realness, that genuineness, the authenticity. So that happens as a consequence of that. Okay.
Where are we at now?
We're at 5, I think. Number 5.
5.
The confidence loop. So you build confidence, right? So by being in a networking group, I can think of one person right now. When they came to their first networking group, they sat in the car park and debated for 15 minutes with themselves. Do I go in? Do I not go in? Do I go in? Do I not go in? Because they were worried, concerned what people might think when they came to talk. We do a small pitch, 30-second pitch where you talk about your name, your company, what you do, your problem you solve. And that just absolutely scared and petrified them. This same person now, 18 months later, is one of the most confident people that walks in the room, right? Confidence has come. Why? Because you've practiced it. You've come in there. You're encouraged. You're around people that are lifting you up. So you build confidence by continually practicing what you want to do.
It is, by the way, I want to also add on that point. It is quite hard for some people to get up and talk about themselves. I mean, I know some of my friends who I talk to, they would not get up in a group of even 10 people and talk about something about themselves.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? It's great. I would do it. I'm a bit more of an extrovert as well. So, but they said no. I mean, it's frightening. And so it's not easy.
It's not easy, but you build confidence by participating and doing that. So you get past that initial hurdle. I mean, being in our networking group, we've got people that will help and assist you to grow and learn your pitch, to master your pitch. We'll tweak your pitch, and week in, week out, you can do it. But here's the deal. You get past that first 7 seconds. There's a 7-second rule, 5-second rule, I think it is. You go out and you do it, and then you just, it happens, right? It's happening. You're in the middle of it, and it's okay. And then you go, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
It was okay. You might go back and go, oh man, I was such a fool. I didn't say this or that. But the reality is that you remember only yourself. You don't remember anybody else's mistakes. You only remember your mistakes.
For people who don't know what the pitching is part of a networking thing that when you are part of a group, as far as I understand, is you have about 20, 30, 40, 60 seconds of you talking about who you are, what you do, why you, like maybe the type of clients that you want.
Yeah. So the way that, again, talking about networking, what we do, people need to know who you are. So firstly, you've got to introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Andy Prentice. You've got to let them know where you're from, so your company, your business. And then you want to help them. You want to offer value. How do I help people? What is the problem I solve? And telling a story about that is so helpful. So I went into a networking group one time. I introduced myself. As I said earlier, I manage and run a co-working space, and I had a little horn with me. And I started my pitch by going, bam, 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 booming this horn. Have you ever sat in traffic and you have just wanted to beep the horn at the road jam that is the Northern Motorway? Well, you need an office space that's closer to you on the shore, because this is a group of people that are on there. What I do is I provide an office space, a professional environment for people to come in and work in. My name's Andy Prentice. I'm from The Crate. If you're looking for a space, come and speak to me. I'd love to help you with your office solutions, right? So a pitch is basically that opportunity for you to share who you are, the company you come from, what you do, the problems that you solve. And ideally, you want to bring a story or an emotional connection for people so they can understand your product. We call it an elevator pitch, right? The 30 seconds that you have in an elevator to share with someone what you do.
Is that what they call an elevator pitch?
Yeah, because as the time from hopping in the elevator and traveling up to the 9th floor and there you've got 30 seconds.
Cool. Okay, what's the other one?
So we've got another principle of scarcity. In our group, we have a limit category of only 2 per business category. Others have just 1 where you're there. So there is this whole principle that actually when you come in, you are the expert in the room for your industry, for what you do There's only a limited number of people that can join. So you can be on a wait list. We've had people that are going, well, put me on the wait list as soon as a space opens up. So, within that, there is just a certain amount of people that can offer the services that you do. Number 7, and I love this one. This is honestly one of the things that we have zoned in here. It's the role of accountability and goal alignment. So what we offer is a 90-day action plan. So 4 times a year, you have 5 vital business goals or personal goals that are going to help move the needle forward in your business. So many Kiwi operators here in New Zealand. We are hard workers. We're not afraid of putting our head to the plow, our hands to the plow rather, getting our head down, getting involved, getting in it. But what that means is too often we're working in the business and not on the business. So we're doing the job that our business needs. We're servicing the clients and doing that instead of working on the things that grow our business. So every quarter, we set aside 90 days and have a goal working session where you come up with 5 goals that you work on your business, things that are going to help you grow, putting in systems, putting in place, whatever it is to bring focus. And we have had so many incredible success stories for this, where people have really been able to improve themselves personally. We've had people like lose weight, eat healthier, improve their health goals. I had one client, one of our members rather, he had lost one of his major clients, 40% of his revenue gone overnight. And his 90-day goal was to reinstate that. And over the course of 90 days, he empowered his team, got sales training, got all this, and recouped all of that through a bunch of now smaller clients there to future-proof himself. I have another member, he set himself the goal, I need to increase my monthly recurring revenue by $10,000 a month. anyone want an extra 10K in their bank account? I don't know too many people that would say no to that. And so he set his focus in there. And because he had this focus with this that's aligned with accountability groups, we do what we call accountability triangles, where you get together with 2 other people every week to talk about your goals. When you're held accountable, and this is just a short 15, 20-minute session done over Zoom, doesn't have to be done in person. It can be done in person. My group last quarter, we went for a 20-minute walk. We left the office, walked 10 minutes and came back.
Nice.
We had a timer. Every person had 7 minutes to go through. But I knew that reoccurring appointment was coming from my calendar, and I didn't want to say to the rest of the team, I haven't done anything. So we're held accountable to move forward and to grow. And then within that group, they give you ideas, and it's fantastic.
It's so good, eh? I mean, the point about this accountability and goal alignment is, again, you don't do it alone.
No.
And you walk with someone, and the 90-day action plan is set out to have a focused, 90 days, and you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and the goals, like maybe, you've got 5 goals and they're all different. Could be also personal things. Like this is so fascinating and foundational for people in business and not in business. You don't have to be in business to need a 90-day action plan.
No.
All of us have something that we want to achieve. And I'm sure people listening and viewing going, there's a lot that I want to get done, and it's just all in my head. And I just don't know where to start, and how do I go about it? And I feel like this is a wonderful initiative that you guys have started that, maybe other groups have done it too, maybe not. I mean, I haven't heard of any other group that does this.
I don't know any other networking group that has done this. And a lot of our members have said to us, this is one of the most valuable things that you got. Obviously, networking groups, as we've talked about here, you want business growth. You want more customers. You want more revenue. 100% that's what networking groups are. We've talked about the fact that there is community there, that you come in there, and we have a need for that. And again, you get that in networking groups to various degrees, depending on how much emphasis they place on that. But it's one of the things that we do. And then the third thing that we've seen is people want accountability to be able to grow, to do this. And as you say, I don't know of anyone else. There will probably be other groups out there, but as far as I'm aware, we're the only ones that do it, that I know of. And it is tremendous, the success stories that we've heard from people. And here's the deal, right? You might set 5 goals, and people might not achieve all of them. We get people that achieve 5 of them, but sometimes people only achieve maybe 2, 3, 4 of their goals. But that's still a huge success, because without that focus, the reality is they wouldn't have achieved it. I've got members, I can think of a person right now that had a goal for over 10 years. Wow. 10 years that they achieved in one 90-day quarter. Why? Because they had focus and accountability. That's the power of networking groups. That's the power of what we can see happen with being in an environment where you focus in on your dreams.
And it's a little side note here to say, because it's a SMART goal. Like some people believe in goals, other people don't do goals at all. In fact, I've had a guest on the show who's really, really successful, and he said, I don't do goals. I mean, maybe because he is successful now, or that's how he rolled, but he was like, I don't do goals, and I just look for opportunities. So this may not apply to everybody, but it has clearly worked for people so far.
Again, networking in all industries, you're going to have a unique situation. So depending on how your industry and your situation is will depend how you can do it. But I believe, even in that gentleman there, or lady, I don't know who it was, that they look for the opportunity. And when they find that opportunity becomes their goal. They might not have written it down and made it into a SMART goal, which is an acronym for specific, measurable, actionable, relatable, and time-bound. Those are the sort of goals that give you real good boundaries to help you achieve them, but still have some form of goal. Whether it's, I'm looking for opportunities, and then when I find that opportunity, I'm going to grab that. That's still a form of a goal. But the reality is for most people, is that when you have a focus, you've written it down, defined it, and then regularly look at it. That's only, it's like less than 2% of the population would have goals that they regularly look at, regularly being at least once a month, which isn't that regular in my opinion. Is it?
It's a bit like, are you supposed to look at it every week or every day? Have it like next to you in your bedside?
I would say look at it every day. we're so easy to forget what's going on around us. Again, that's the power of networking. That's why we turn in week after week. But with our goals, I would say every day. And we have a goal card that we offer to people so they can take it with them each day. It's a physical card, because if you have it just simply on your phone or on your laptop, you have it in a document, you don't open it up again.
Exactly. As you talk, I was watching a clip from a podcast that had a neurosurgeon or neuroscientist on, and they were talking about why would you write something by hand, then read it aloud softly once, and then read it aloud again second time, and then visualize yourself achieving that. It's the Mel Robbins show, the podcast, and she was just asking what really goes on, and then the neuroscientist was saying, well, hopefully I'm going to get this right, but he says there's actual pathways and chemicals in your brain that the moment that you write something down, it activates 3 networks. One of them sort of tells the brain this is important. The other network tells the brain we need to focus on it. And the other part of the brain goes, okay, well, we need to action it. So it starts working in the background, finding ways to actually achieve what you wrote down, spoken out loud and visualize in your brain.
Yeah.
And then you will remember, then you will achieve it. And so the point of the whole 90-day action plan, writing it down, having it next to you and listening to it, not listening to it, but reading it out loud and looking at it daily, that's what's happening. If you want to find out more about the ins and the outs of this conversation, you can go to Mel Robbins and watch the episode. But it's fascinating. There's probably one more point for us.
Yeah.
Is there? Or two more points happening?
No, the last one is there's emotional benefits with networking, 100%. So within that, you can come and you can reduce your stress levels. It's true, because when you share a problem, people can help bring perspective into what you're doing, but it's also that increased motivation, right? So when you're more motivated and you're doing that and you're getting those wins and you're getting those forward momentum, it feels good. I mean, when you've ticked off a goal, or you've ticked off a task, or you've got a new client,
that's true.
It feels great.
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
When you feel that sense of winning and success, and when you are struggling and when you're not in there, you have people around you to help carry that burden with you. You don't have to do it alone. Again,
it feels good.
It feels fantastic.
And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of sense of all these chemicals in your body that gets released when you have that support around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. I want to hear about how you guys started and how you scaled your networking group, because I'm assuming that people have to pay to be part of that. So how did it start? How did you scale? And this is more like the business side of the networking for you guys.
Yeah, sure. So as I said earlier, we had another group, Business with Locals. It was a successful event, but it wasn't ticking off the networking need, because we were getting various people coming each time. There was no continuity. There was no sense of growth and development. So in the height of its attendance, like, it wasn't because numbers had dwindled off, they had increased. It was the most successful it had ever been. And that highlighted the fact that it wasn't being successful and ticking off what we needed to do. So the core team of 4 of us got together. That was Dean Payne, Rory Wyatt, Elias Canaris, and myself. And we're like, what could business networking look like? So that's where the gathering was born, to get a gathering of like-minded individuals that would be empowering business and community. That's our tagline, empowering business and community, knowing that it's not just about doing it yourself, but we also have this business focus. So we came together, we paused that event for the month. We said, we're not going to do that there. And we go, look, what could it look like? And we brainstorm, what are the things that people are looking for? Well, they're looking for business growth, they're looking for community, and we found that they are looking for accountability. And we put out into our networks, we emailed everyone, and we invited them in for an information night, said who would like to be a part of this sort of journey. We highlighted the types of events, what we're doing. We're doing regular weekly events. We're going to have a once a month larger gathering. We're going to put these action plans out there. We're going to do blue sky days. We're going to offer these different things. Who out there would be interested? And so we had this night turn up with all these people, and 50% of the people that turned up on that night said, sign me up, I'm interested. So on that very first night, I think we had about 35 people, 17 of them signed up to join with us. We saw that there was a need. So over the next coming weeks, we continue to invite people to come and join with us. Our membership is around 35 people. We've had some people come and join us and realize that actually this isn't quite a right fit for them. And there have other people that have come, been right from the start. This is fantastic. This is where I'm at. Obviously, everybody's in different seasons of their business, and there's opportunities depending on your industry to connect in different networking groups and be a part of things there. But we started with this need, this core functional thing where we're like, people want to grow their business, people want community, and people want accountability so they actually do the things to get their business going forward. And from that, we've tried a whole bunch of things. We've evolved our nights. Our nights, we really try to make them a commitment where you come in for an hour each week. It's not longer than that. The problem that we've found, which is a great problem, is that because we've built community, people want to linger. That's absolutely no problem. If you want to stay longer and you don't have other family commitments or other things going on that night, you can stay longer. And people do that. It's fantastic because that's the power of networking, building authentic relationships and community.
Well, that's really powerful. And so how did you manage to scale it? Were you actively looking at finding more people to come and join you? Or was it like a word of mouth that you grew? Because obviously you started with a number and then now because how long have you been running for?
So just over 18 months now.
So fairly new, but clearly there's been a demand.
Yes.
Clearly you did, a good, smart move by having an info night just to test out the waters. I think that's a really smart move. How have you been able to grow it since?
Well, if you find something that you love and enjoy, you're going to tell people about it. Our goal was to be that group that people talked about on a Friday night at the pub. Mate, went to this meeting. It was fantastic. I've been achieving these things. We want to be known as the networking group that people talk about.
Is this how you guys grew, just by word of mouth?
We encourage people, if you know someone that would benefit from this, invite them along. And anyone can come along and grab a guest pass for the night, come along and experience complimentary on us, come and get a sense and a feel for it. And then people come along by that. They invite their friends, they invite their colleagues, they invite their networks to come and join us. And so that's how we've grown it, is that basically our members invite other members, we invite people to come and join us.
So not really like you haven't gone the route of marketing or advertising or anything like that.
No,
it's just literally like...
Right now, we don't even have a social platform or anything like that. It's word of mouth. It's the power of networking.
It's awesome. How can people find more about this group, find more about you, Andy, and if they feel inspired and maybe want to check it out, I suppose?
Yeah, fantastic. Well, if you're in Auckland, on the North Shore in particular, we meet at the Crate, which is on Constellation Drive, which is a co-working space on Thursdays. You can come and you can send an email through to thegathering@thecrate.co.nz. Give us a call. My details will be in here. If you reach out to Mina, reach out to the podcast, then I'm sure you'll be able to pass them on to us as well.
There'll be links, I'm sure, in the description.
We'll put links in the description for it. Fantastic. And come along and be part of it. But having said that, some people have found such value in it. They travel from over the bridge, which in Auckland, if you're from Auckland, it's almost unheard of. But,
really?
Yeah.
Do they actually travel from across the bridge to come and be part of the group?
Yeah, we've got a number of members, not a large number, but we do have multiple members that travel from over the other side of the bridge to come because what they've found.
It's like a 20-minute, 30-minute ride, by the way, if someone wondering.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum in good Auckland.
With the traffic, right? Like, because it's not at a convenient time traffic-wise. We gather at 4:30, but people come, they make the most of it.
I see.
Yeah. So if people want to be a part of it, they can come along, come and experience it, come and have a night, maybe even 2 nights, just to get a sense and a feel and understand if it's a good fit for you. But if you're not in the Auckland region, or if that night doesn't work for you, I want to encourage you, reach out to some of the various networking groups out there. There's all sorts of different networking groups that do this element of networking, and the principles, the benefits, the psychology of it still applies.
That's right. And it's been so enlightening to talk about networking today, and just to get to know you a little bit more and your passion. And I'm sure that you're going to go places and you're going to grow, and this group hopefully going to grow and going to attract more people. Who knows? It might end up being in every part of Auckland and New Zealand.
Hey, we just watch the space, right?
Watch the space. What would be a good final advice for people in business right now?
So my advice to people in business right now is that chances are, unless you've been intentional about it, you are caught up in the day-to-day running of what you're doing. Take a day into your calendar to just go away and do nothing and reimagine what it could be like. take a day to step out of that and imagine how you could go forward. And honestly, the power of networking, the power of rethinking things through, having a moment there and to taking time out, just even to refresh yourself is so valuable. I want to encourage you to do that. Just take some time out and just see what happens from that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me, Mina. It's been a pleasure to come and join you here today.